Viajes Jalisco.
Guadalajara, 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 Guadalajara. Ay, 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 ay,
need to continue.
All right, and we are live. Good afternoon here in Guadalajara Expo.
Hello.
Live on our Facebook channel and YouTube channel under ReadersMagnet. We are here in this glorious afternoon with these ladies. They're going to be here with us answering questions,
Yes.
exchanging information among each other. We have here today the author of the book Victim to Victorious, Edwidge Gilbert. How are you?
Very well, thanks.
We have the author of the book Warrior Stands, Carmen
Yes.
Davenport. Has an
Yes.
amazing interview
Hi,
yesterday.
how are you? Doing awesome. Thank you so much.
And of course, we have here the author of the Great Global Cause. We have Maggie Rady. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you so
Doing
much.
amazing. All right, so let's start off with Carmen. Again, we are being watched right now all over the world. Definitely, I'm asking them to ask questions.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
indicate which country they're from, because you're being watched right now.
Yes.
Everybody who's watching us right now in our feed can definitely share this to their Facebook channel, Instagram, and YouTube channel.
Please
The
share.
message that we're sharing this afternoon is not only fun, but definitely this is so awe-inspiring to everybody. Everybody needs to hear this story,
Yes.
because it's about helping you get out of your shell. It's helping you get out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
And it's helping you become the most successful person you wish to be. Let's start. How about we start by saying, Carmen, how was your book signing in the past few days? This is your third
Oh,
day.
wow. Yes, this is the third day. And the first 2 days, I can absolutely tell you it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming. I literally run in here and people are already lined up to get my book. And that's just a blessing. And I'm definitely grateful for that. And I really hope that my book reach a lot of people and reach their hearts and make some changes to themselves so that they can ultimately help change society. We really need that in the world today. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for being here, and I really thank Readers Magnet for allowing for me to be here, because that's, you know, just a blessing in itself. And I'm sitting here with two wonderful ladies who we all have the same thread, you know, literally the same thread. We're talking about the same things, and it's important because we understand that these situations that we're dealing with is definitely needed in society. So we'll talk about that a little more.
Thank you so much, Carmen.
Thank you.
Now, it's actually the first day of events and Maggie here at the Readers Magnet booth, right? How long are you planning to stay here in Guadalajara, Maggie?
I just arrived today, and I need to go back to Canada on Wednesday. So I'm going to take every moment to stir up every blessing that I can, and I'm just so grateful to be here. So I'm going to make the most of it. Thank you.
I know you had an amazing opportunity to speak to one of the librarians who roamed around here in Guadalajara Expo, right?
Yeah, so
just a few minutes before our interview.
yes, I did. So the connections are amazing, and there's people here that are just, everybody has a gift to offer, and it's such a great place to connect. Yes, thank you.
This is your first day here in Guadalajara.
First day, I arrived yesterday from West Palm Beach, Florida, and I love this country. People are so kind, so engaging, so open to hear different ideas. So I'm excited to be here, and I've made contacts already with different bookstores, and I want to translate the book in German. After being French and Spanish, what about German and Portuguese? So I have connection for that, and I want to help the world feel victorious, empowered, and ready to face all the challenge that we are confronted with, and stay strong, right, and positive and joyful. Joie de vivre.
Yes.
I totally agree with you. I think there's one thing that's common to all our authors is really putting yourself in that book.
Yes.
Right? It's not easy to even think about being one, but let alone to really have it successfully being written in those pages, those beautiful covers. So let's start with Carmen.
Yes.
From that moment that you thought to become an author, what pushed you and how that made you feel to finally become an author?
I'm gonna tell you, I never really thought about becoming an author. Growing up, that was not in my foresight at all. Did not think about it. It wasn't until about 2010 when God imparted on me to become an author. And as I mentioned in my interview, it wasn't for this book here. It was for my autobiography. But I believe that this book is going to just open up more doors, allow for other people to really get to know me, strengthen themselves, and then they'll be ready for my autobiography. But I love being an author. This here is just eye-opening. It truly is, to see so much experience and so many personalities, you know, who are really truly passionate about what it is that they're doing, and, you know, love doing what they're doing. So it always comes easy when you love doing what you're doing.
Now, talking about eye openers, I know there's a lot of eye openers right now. Maggie, what made you think that the book, The Great Global Pause, would be a perfect eye opener?
Well, like you, I did not see myself as an author, but I was out there doing my thing. I'm a registered clinical counselor. I've been working with people from 3 to 93, doing my part to help heal, because I think that we all need help sometimes, including self, right? And I think that sometimes we're in the ocean of life and it's all smooth, and sometimes there's turbulence. So when there's turbulence, we shouldn't be in there too long by ourselves. So, you know, during 2020, I was lying in my bed like everybody was. I was listening to the news like everybody was. And there was so much fear, and there was so much uncertainty, and literally the ground that we were walking on was shaking inside of us, right? And being a counselor, I know that to stay in fear shuts us down.
Absolutely.
I know that to stay in fear compromises our immune system.
Absolutely.
I know that it doesn't help us in any way. And so there was a lot of scary things going on, and I thought, well, there's got to be something. There's got to be something here. And I really feel like this book came through me, and it said, okay, Grandmother Turtle, wants us to know that this is a time where the whole world is on pause. Literally, the whole world is on pause.
Yes, yes.
And we're not out there doing our busyness and running around. And we are like, what is it that we're pausing to listen to? Please, please, what is it that we're pausing to listen to? So this book is about Grandmother Turtle, who wants us to pause and remember that taking better care of ourselves, we have to start there.
Yeah.
Then each other,
Yeah.
and then our planet.
Yeah.
And if we can come back to kindness and respect for all of the differences and come back to unity, then we can make this world a better place.
I totally agree with it. That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
Talking about uncertainties during turbulence, I know definitely that Rich has a lot to say about that.
Yes.
And
Well-
that led you to becoming victorious because, as you said, you were once a victim too. Tell us more about it.
Well, I was once a victim too because I needed to be rescued by my grandmother when I was a little girl for personal circumstances from my parents. And I was raised very overprotected. And then I became very shy. And my message to myself was, I can't. Everybody else can. Until I came to this country in my 20s and realized that I needed to do something because I became overweight from being a model in my country because I was taking refuge from my stress, from my fear and anxiety into bagels and brownies, which I don't recommend you try.
No. I pushed mine away earlier.
And so I went on a quest because I really had health issues. I had hypoglycemia, all the things I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I went on a quest to find my answer. And on the journey, I realized one thing, that the issue was never my weight. It was because I didn't have my power, my safe place within. And this part of me, which we know is the third chakra in the yoga system, is your power center.
That's
And this, I teach people to breathe into your sacred power and to declare, I can, I do, and I will stay committed to my victorious journey.
Yes.
And like you, this book, Maggie, was written, my second book. I had one published, but this one was during COVID when a friend of mine said, we need to do something. And she is the founder of Movies Making a Difference, which makes movie for awareness about human trafficking in Mexico and United States. And she said, could you create a book to help our survivors move forward? So I did during COVID quickly. And then I realized, wait a minute, aren't we victimized by COVID? Haven't we lost our power? Have we let fear cripple us? So this book is for all of us. Those who let ourselves become fat because of their fear or become drinking too much. So I'm helping clear the obstacle. Unwanted habits, behavior that stop you from being victorious. Voila.
We're very happy as yes. We're able to overcome that.
Oh yeah.
Talking about overcoming fears and bad habits. And Carmen has a lot to say also, but I'm so curious because that makes you so lucky to have a very dear and lovely grandmother to help her get out of that. Was there anybody in your life at that moment, Carmen, transitioning to the new Carmen? Was there anybody that helped you, facilitated you to become who you are today?
I have to honestly say there wasn't. There wasn't. I was the rock for my family. I've always been there for my mother. I've always been there for my brother, for my sister. I was the moneymaker. I would provide. And to have that rock for myself, I never really had that physical rock. The only rock I had was spiritual, and that was God. And he definitely helped me through a lot of the things that I went through, because I learned from the old Carmen that there was still someone in charge. no matter what was happening in this world, somebody was in charge. So through everything that I've gone through, the molestation, through the sexual assaults, discrimination, everything that I've gone through that could really impact people, I knew somebody was in charge. And I held on to my sword and shield. And I continue to fight. I continue to push forward. I continue to even help other people through their, but I always had my shield and I was protecting myself. I protected my spirit. I protected my mind, because with everything that I've dealt with, I really could have lost my mind. You know, I could have. There's so many people who have dealt with so much trauma who is still dealing with the remnants of their trauma. And they're not able to really move forward and be successful as they could be. And that's where your warrior stance come in, releasing the warrior in you, because it's there. No matter what we've gone through, we have this inner person already there. And all we have to do is release that strength, release that confidence. But sometimes we just need to be redirected. And that's what your warrior stance is going to do. It's going to redirect people to their ideal life, to their ideal family life, their ideal work life, in spite of everything that we've gone through. We're still warriors, and we can still fight through every single thing that we've gone through. Even COVID, even things that your grandmother had to heal you from and help you through. You know, everything, we can still fight, no matter what. No matter what. And as long as we keep our faith, because we already know that this world is not our world.
That's right.
So as long as we keep our faith and we continue to move forward and we connect ourselves, I have a section in here called network. So I say networking with the right people who's going to help support us, who's going to help push us through and help provide the information that we need to get to the next level. And networking is very important to me, because I did not have that growing up. I didn't have that, the confidence to really tell a lot of people the things that I went through when I was younger. It wasn't until my 30s when I was able to really release and talk about the things that I've gone through.
Fashion to do that.
No, it wasn't. People didn't want to hear about
And
that,
nobody
you know?
cared. They wanted to look everything good.
Yeah. Everybody wants things to be perfect.
Yeah.
And this world is not perfect. And as long as you continue to think that it's perfect, you're not going to grow. So we have to grow. We have to recognize that this world is not perfect. And until you do that, as I mentioned yesterday, you have to learn to be uncomfortable with being comfortable. And that's the only time we get to grow.
I totally like what you said. But Reese, every time you say that, you have to be uncomfortable of being comfortable.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way you really want to grow.
Yeah.
You can really grow when you're not comfortable, when you're worried, when you're sad. You feel low.
Yeah.
When your darkest moments, that's the only time you can see the light. You're in the dark, right? You can see the light when it's lit all the time. So
Exactly.
only when there's darkness, that's when you can see the light. No matter how small that may be. Right?
Absolutely.
But talking about uncertainties and shielding yourself, I know your story is really very perfect for kids, also even for adults as well, because everyone is a turtle.
Yes.
And not everyone has a grandma turtle.
Yeah.
Right? No.
But you said earlier you've been a counselor for more than 20 years.
Yeah, it's
You
almost
said
30.
yourself that you were a turtle as well.
Yes.
Tell us more about
Yes. Well, I think that well, we all need each other, and I come back to the turtle when it's on its shell upside down, and it needs to rock sometimes and be in that place for a while. And there is something about being in that solitude. There is something to go inside your turtle shell, and I am responsible for me in my turtle shell. I am responsible for my actions, my feelings, and I am responsible to make sure it's clean and healthy in there. So that's 100% valid. And if I spend too much time in there and I get isolated in there, it can actually backfire.
Oh, absolutely.
And I need to poke my head out of my shell sometimes, and I need to look around and see that somebody else needs my help, and that I can ask for help. And really, honestly, we're all swimming through this storm together, right? And when you see a turtle on its shell, another one comes along and nudges it and will not leave it alone until it goes. And even more powerful than that is, did you know what a family of turtles is called? You know, we have a flock of geese, right? We have a herd of cows. we have a bale of turtles, which is a community of turtles, a family of turtles. And when a bale comes along to help that turtle on its back, it's instantaneous and powerful. And in this time where we've been through COVID and we've been through all of this stuff, there is so much division and fear, and we are isolated sometimes, and we're forgetting that we're all on the same team. We're all on the same planet, right? And we need to come together in that community, and this is how we can move forward and make the world a better place. And so I think that our messages are all connected, and I think that each one of us has a gift to offer, and we look different on the outside. And in this book, there's a book of all the baby turtles, and each one is completely different from another, and it represents how we're different and yet we're all the same, right? And in the illustration, each baby turtle gets a symbol from the grandmother turtle. So one gets the music, and one gets the star, and one gets a different, and this represents our lineage. So, you know, I think it's our wisdom lineage, it's our feminine and masculine lineage, it's our ancestral lineage, and I think that we're here to go through this hard time on earth to heal some of our lineage. And it's our experience in ourself that we're healing and setting ourselves free to find that warrior within, to find to be victorious, and to help the world one little person at a time, one step at a time, but in community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, for Edvish, I know you definitely stress translating into bad habits and bad behavior with the old you that definitely have become the stronger person that you are today for the help of people around you. Now, I know.
Yes and no.
Well,
No, actually, it was my journey. Nobody really helped me. I had to discover my safe place within. And in my book, you remind me, I created a meditation called the Sword of Fearlessness. And I taught everyone and myself for many years, I would go in a situation where I could feel uncomfortable and lack of confidence, shy, and I would think, I'm Zina, the warrior princess, with my sword of fearlessness, or King Arthur, and I would feel that way, and everything I do has two arms, victory. Because the moment you look up, when we pray, we look up? To the higher power. So when you bring your arms up, you will change your energy in minutes. So my book is really quick, immediate. I really say within 2 minutes, you can transform through my techniques. I have a gesture with a thumb. You just, kids to soothe themselves. This has to do with anxiety. So always trust to strength, right? Anxiety to calmness. Which one is that? Fear. Fear to confidence. What's that one? Anger. Anger to patience. Sadness to joy, and overwhelm. So have you do that, you make sound, and the power of words. I choose to be happy. And the language of the heart. We too often use a poor language to ourselves. Call it the language of hurt. We say, I should. No, you choose. Should is shooting on yourself. You know that expression? I desire. So you create the vision of being a warrior. You create the turtle, because the power is in the imagination. When you use images, you will transform the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is where everything gets transformed for good.
That's where it starts.
To affect that and to be able to see this awareness. I don't need this anymore. Belief system. I let go of all the things that don't serve me. I take my sword. I take my turtle to protect, but also want to reach out and get people to help me on this journey.
Yes.
Thank you.
I totally agree with that. So good job, ladies.
Me too. I love that.
Ask questions from everybody who's watching us live right now on Facebook and YouTube channel. Throw in your questions, everyone, and so we can flash it and ask our ladies right here. Now, I have a very interesting question. I hope it is interesting because I know it's hard to write a book,
Yeah.
but I think it's also harder to have to meet people, a group of people who won't believe in what you believe in.
Yes.
How do you deal with people? If there's any time in your life that you have met somebody, indirectly or directly in their face, told you that everything you said wasn't true, to people who are apprehensive about what you said, hesitant to believe in what you said, what's your message?
My first step is to listen. I mean, the first step is to listen. When somebody's having a hard time listening to me, then I need to lean in. I need to lean in and I need to look them in the eye and I need to listen a lot more. And, you know, I've been a counselor for 30 years and I know that it's the relationship that heals, right? It's the relationship that heals. So it's the connection, it's the listening. And when I'm doing too much talking, you know, that's probably not a good thing. I need to pause. I need to bring that energy into a grounded place to open up, to connect and to listen.
Can I say something on this? Because it's perfect what you said. I believe in the power of active listening, reflective.
Yes.
Tell them, so I understand you don't believe. And the power of questions.
Oh, yes.
Question is, what stops you from believing in this?
Yes.
What happened if you chose to believe in this?
Yes.
How would your life be if you let go of this limiting belief that doesn't serve you any longer? And people say, I don't know. Well, if you had a magic wand, what would you say? And the moment you give permission to somebody to imagine that they're not who they are, but they give you an answer, which always fascinated me.
Exactly. Limiting beliefs. I'm glad she mentioned that because that's very important. And a lot of times our limiting beliefs actually derive from our experiences, right? So everyone has a different experience, which created a different perception of life, of whatever it is. And then from there, that perception created different decisions for each one of us. My decisions and my actions, which, you know, comes after the decisions, those decisions now derive my actions. But because where I grew up in New York, urban New York, okay? Straight in the streets where all of the kids always played outside, and there was a lot of craziness as well. You know, we had a lot of drugs. I grew up in the era where there was crack cocaine that, you know, that kind of just overpowered everything. So when you're talking to me as an adult, right? And I grew up in poverty, food stamps, going to the food shelters and getting powdered milk and, you know, those type of things. If someone was to tell me that you can have a great life and you can be awesome and you're amazing, well, at that time, I don't believe that. The most important person here works as a teacher down the street, you know? So how can I believe that that's actually for me if my whole environment has told me that it wasn't? You know? So it's difficult, but what I like to do, for one, is share my story, is share my experiences. So people understand that I can connect to them. I understand where you are because I've been there. I can relate to you. I haven't always been at the level that I am right now, you know, so I get down to their level and I share where I was and where I am now and the journey that I went on to get to where I am now. So it gives them hope. It lets them know that, okay, you're right. I can achieve more. I can acquire more. I can realize my dreams. You know, a lot of times our youth, they just dream and not understanding that they can actually realize it. All you have to do is change your mindset. And when you change your mindset, that's where the limiting beliefs come from. Now you're changing your limiting beliefs, you know, And
Open up the possibility.
it opens up the possibility of you understanding, for one, you're not the only person in that situation.
That's right.
There's other people who have been in that situation, and it's important for you to connect to other people so you know, okay, if that person did it, and look at where they are now, look at how successful they are, then I can do it too.
Yes.
So it's important for us to be able to share and continue to share our stories, unapologetically.
Yes.
I don't apologize for the old Carmen at all. I don't worry about the old Carmen. I'm concerned about who that old Carmen turned into.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
I feel, first of all, I have so much compassion
Yeah.
and respect for you
Oh,
because
thank you.
of the two of us,
Yeah.
right? We don't understand where you come from, what
Yes.
you've been through. The only thing I can understand is from my heart
Yeah.
and my power of imagination.
Yes.
But you are giving charge
Yes.
and transform my victimization
Exactly.
because you were
Yeah.
by circumstances
Yeah.
into my victory.
Yeah.
So you illustrating my book.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I want to
that's-
thank you
yeah.
for that.
You're
Really.
welcome. You're
Really
welcome.
you do. And
welcome.
because it's too easy to feel sorry for yourself,
Oh, easy.
that gives you an excuse
Yeah.
to not do anything.
Yeah.
And it's enough. Right?
Exactly. The key is to regain your power. We all have power, right? We all have power. I explained yesterday to the group of ladies, the other authors who were sitting here, I said we were all born as flowers. Each one of us. What's your favorite flower?
Sunflower.
Sunflower. What's yours?
Rose.
Rose. And I love orchids. I love orchids. So we were all born flowers, but the circumstances of life, all of the craziness in this world created weeds.
Yes.
And those weeds grew out of the ground right next to us because we're embedded in that soil. We were embedded in awesome soil and powerful soil.
Yes.
We were embedded in soil that is going to help us change the world. We're queens.
Yes.
We're powerful women. That's the soil we were embedded in. But what ended up happening was weeds grew up next to us because we know weeds just pop up anywhere, right? So it was the weed of life, the weed of insecurity, the weed of a lack of self-esteem, the weed of a lack of confidence. Those type of weeds kind of created other things that we dealt with. So we became introverts. We became very shy. From some of the weeds I dealt with, I became promiscuous because of the so
Understood them.
exactly. So those weeds started to choke our lives and change us, and everything that we became was because those weeds changed us.
Can I
But
say
that's
something?
not who we are.
And I
so
think sometimes we forgot that we were the flower and we thought we were the weed.
we
right?
did forget.
Like we forgot.
We
We forgot who we were, and we looked in the mirror and thought we were a prickly weed, an ugly prickly weed that had no purpose, no gift to share,
Yeah.
and we forgot. And so this is a process of remembering,
Yeah,
and this is
yeah.
a process of back to really the truth of who we are.
Exactly. And that's where the power of healing comes from.
Yes.
That's where the power, we cannot continue to move in life until we heal
And
from our traumas and
I
our
like to
past.
see it
Yeah.
as this resurrection.
Yeah.
We resurrect from, like the phoenix
Yeah.
rise from the ashes.
Yeah.
We have the power to do this. But the first step is to be aware.
Yeah.
And very few people, that's why we're here
Exactly.
to help. They don't want to deal. Denial is easier in a way
Yeah, absolutely.
because
Yeah.
you don't have to take
You don't have to deal with it.
responsibility.
You don't have to be accountable either. You don't have to be accountable, but we have to get to a point where we have to stop hurting other people.
Oh.
With all of the traumas in our lives, and until we fully heal from them, we're going to continue to hurt everybody we connect with.
Yeah.
And I call it the spider web. If I'm dealing with insecurities, well, I won't say insecurity. I was very, very powerful with my control
Yes.
because
Yes.
when I was young, I didn't have control over the molestation. I didn't have control over the sexual assaults. So I became very powerful. Oh, absolutely. I wanted to be in control, and I was just in control of men. I'm going to control you. You're going to do whatever I tell you to do, you know, and that's it. And I'm going to make you love me, and then I'm going to move on, you know, and that was my protection. But I realized I was hurting them.
Yeah.
I realized I was hurting them.
Yeah.
And the next relationship they went into, they hurt somebody else.
Yes, and then it continues.
And then it continues. So I call it the spider web effect.
Yeah.
So it continues. So you had to get to the awareness and get to a point where you're healing so that you don't continue to hurt people, and then they could be more productive in society.
Yeah.
So to go back to the flowers that we were and that we still are, we just had a cloak of weed on us.
Yeah.
And once we were able to remove that weed, which is going through the self-healing process, we're able to just peel it off, get rid of the weed of insecurity, get rid of the weed of a lack of confidence, and then we become who we are. It helps us to become who we are, but we have to recognize it and get rid of the things that are not good for us.
And continuing on the story, because I really love the story. I tell you why I love your story so much and your title. Just before 9/11,
Yeah.
I wanted to write a book called From Warrior to Warrior. Change one letter, but because of 9/11, the war, I couldn't go with it.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, it reminded me, and a lot of my techniques have to do with an armor
Yes.
of protection.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what is the armor?
Yes.
The divine white light
Yeah.
that deflect and reject all negativity.
Yes.
I am protected in my white light.
Yes.
So thank you.
And let me explain real quick, because a lot of people look at this book and they just see your warrior stance. They don't understand. Warrior stance is an acronym, principles that you'll live by, and that becomes your armor. So with the
But
warrior
the
stance.
warrior is not to destroy.
Oh
others.
no, no,
The
no!
warrior is
To protect.
and
it's-
to destroy the weeds.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The warrior is to help you go into society
And fight
and be strong.
battles.
You know,
Yes.
have confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
You know. So with the acronym, just to go over the acronym, warrior stance. Okay. The first step is wisdom. Right. And I'm not going to get deep into it because we're limited time. You know, they don't want to give us a lot of time to talk, you know. So wisdom, and then be the authority over yourself. You have to learn how to be the authority over yourself, right? And the more you're the authority over yourselves, you can also learn how to be the authority over other people.
Yeah.
And that's very important within your family and within your house, within your workspace, right? And then you have resilient. You have to be resilient against the craziness in life.
Oh,
You have to be reliant.
Yeah.
I want people to rely on me. I want people to be able to come to me and trust that I'm going to be the person that they need for me to be. But in order to do that, I have to invest in myself.
Oh, yes.
Investment in yourself is very important. We cannot do anything for anybody else unless we invest in ourselves. And I have to be open-minded, because looking at both of you beautiful ladies, you're coming from different aspects of life, right? And I can easily take my experiences and just shun everybody else's, because in my mind, my experiences is reality. They're reality. But y'all have taught us so many other avenues to take. So I had to be open-minded to hear you, to listen to you, to understand that my way isn't the only way.
Yeah.
There's other ways. And then a risk taker. You have to be a risk taker. You're never going to be successful if you don't take risks. You're just not going to do so.
You're going to stay in your comfort zone.
You have
which is
to-
with the weeds.
You have to learn to be uncomfortable with being comfortable.
Yeah.
The weeds have wrapped us up. That's where we're comfortable at, you know?
Can I share something? For those who are listening, you know what you all need? The 3 books. Because she's giving you the principle.
Yes.
You're giving us the imagination.
Yes.
And I'm giving you the exercise to do emergency kit
Yeah.
when you are really stressed out and cannot make the decision to be anything
Yes.
that you're supposed to do.
And you need all of it to be
Exactly.
everything. And then just to finish stance, I'm gonna go real quick. Setting goals. A lot of people don't set goals. We have to learn to create a target and move towards that target. Your setting goal step is going to teach you how to set that target and don't waver. Like we probably all set goals in order to have our book, right? We wouldn't have been able to accomplish this if we didn't set a goal.
But I need to add something on the goals.
Okay.
You can, in my opinion, manifest the goals only when you feel
Yeah.
victorious.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the law of attraction,
Yeah.
attracting you, calling me, etc., only works if you are raising your level of vibration,
Exactly.
the energy frequency
Yeah.
of joy,
Yeah.
of excitement,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
passion. So then you meet the other side that come your way and create miracles.
Exactly.
So goals need to also have that you worked on yourself, raise
Exactly.
yourself,
Yeah.
and then your vision can manifest.
And that's where the limiting beliefs come in, where you
Oh.
deal with the limiting beliefs, right? Because if I don't believe I can achieve certain things, then I won't set any goals, right? I won't set them. So yeah, and then you have to be an allegiance. So you have to be allegiant to something.
Yes.
Give yourself to something. You
Yes.
know, honor something. And then your network. You have to network. We're going to create some great things, and it's all because of right here. We have
Yes.
like minds, and we're going to create
Yes.
great things.
Yes.
Cognizant of your surrounding, and then be enthused with everything that you're going to go through. This here is your sword and shield. The acronym I just provided you is your sword and shield. That's going to help you with your family life, your work life, and it's going to help you protect yourself from the craziness of the world so that you don't kind of resort back to the old person, and it's going to help you move forward. So you have to be enthused.
How about that moment where you can withdraw from the world
Yeah.
and do meditation? Because the quiet time is the
It is.
only way you can
That's
reconnect
when you're here. Yeah.
within, find your power within in that silence.
Exactly.
So to come out stronger, we need to go back in,
Yes.
like a
That's the turtle.
surfer,
The
like a
turtle.
surfer
Yeah.
on a drive. If you,
Exactly.
yes. So people forget, they go with their goal, like I'm out
Yeah.
there, but then they burnt out.
Yeah.
And I meet a lot of those clients that are burnt out,
Yeah.
trying too hard. So we need to find balance.
Exactly.
You guys were amazing. You have inspiring stories, and like the spider web you're saying, but this
Yeah.
one is a positive spider web.
Yes.
You're just
Yes.
really connecting, you know,
Yes.
each of your story, which is now a wall of sound that I'm visiting. And it's so
Yeah.
fun to actually look at you, you know, sharing your stories.
Yeah.
But I would like you guys to go down a little bit this time and help me inspire those kids out there. Because for adults, perhaps, or for the young adults, for teenagers, perhaps it would be easier for them to be like you. Because they're educated already,
Yeah.
they have started networking, a little bit wiser compared to the previous times that they were younger. But in the time of social media, which is sometimes, you know, it's been abused also recently.
Challenged.
It's so challenging. It is a crazy world right now that our
Yeah.
children, this new generation is facing.
Yes.
And some of them are behind in prison. They're
Yes.
in prison
Yes.
from that reality.
Yes.
The social media, whatever they see in the social media, sometimes they feel and see that that's the reality already.
I know.
And it's just making their brains, you know, crazy. How? The big question is how. How can you make them understand all these things?
Right.
What do you think is the simple step for them to start?
Well, for one thing, I think that the social media makes it look like everything is easy and perfect. I think social media makes it look like everybody has it together. You know, social media, we share our highlights, not our lowlights. And, you know, it's not real. It's an illusion. And I think that what happens is that we feel disconnected. Like, oh, I'm not like that. I see this shiny, beautiful, perfect altered, you know, the image out here,
Filtered.
and
And they're beautiful.
and it's beautiful and it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
And
I wanna be like
but I am
that.
not that, and I can't find my bridge to that, and so therefore I feel less than. I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like my family doesn't look like that.
Exactly.
I feel like my world doesn't look like that. I don't belong. And that's the first thing I want to say is, like, it's an illusion.
It is.
It's not real. And, you know, and I think the other thing is, like, we need to come back to talking to each other. It's through talking and sharing the truth and the stories. I mean, none of us are perfect. And I come back to that story of the two wolves. You know, there's a good wolf and a bad wolf inside of each one of us.
Yeah.
And it is fighting. And which one wins? Well, the truth is that we need to feed both of them. We can not only feed the good white wolf that is full of joy all the time, full of perfection, full of joy and happiness and all of that, because the other one lives inside of me as well. The shadow one, the one who's uncertain sometimes, the one who's full of anxiety and fear and sometimes frustration and anger. And I need to have a place of self-compassion for that wolf as well. Because if I don't, that wolf will take over. That wolf will become vicious. That wolf will be the one that comes out fighting, and I will lose my balance. So what do I say to the young kids? I say, oh my goodness, all of us are struggling. Each and struggling. And we sit here and we make it look easy, but it hasn't been easy. It's been a struggle, and we've needed to go inside. And we've needed to challenge those thoughts of I'm not good enough. And we've needed to find other people to talk to about who we are and our truth. And we've needed to be inspired by other real people and stories, and have seeds planted to help us find our way. And so it's not all on the screen. I know that we're coming to you, and screens are good sometimes because we can reach each other and we can connect in unity faster than we ever could before.
Exactly.
But we have to be careful about knowing that each and every one of us struggles sometimes. And that's where I come back to Grandmother Turtle. She says, oh child, it's okay. You are struggling sometimes, and we will be here to hold you, accept you, validate you, love you no matter what. Because we want you to come into sipping on a cup of self-love. Because whatever cup you're sipping on, that's what you're sharing. So however we can help you to know that you're not alone, and that we're going to help you sip on a cup of self-love, and we're going to help you to come into some peace right here, because we can't change the world unless we do it right here first.
Exactly.
I also believe, following what you just say, we need to surround ourselves with like-minded people, people you trust, that you can speak your truth.
Exactly.
And if you cannot speak your truth, move to another. Don't stick around.
Get rid of them.
And be courageous to share how you feel, and not fake it because somebody say, oh, I'm doing great. Because if you have the courage to feel and share what you are, you empower the other to do it too. And maybe start a movement of being honest and not pretending anymore. And also realizing, follow your intuition. What is your passion? That maybe people didn't tell you, but you know deep down what you want. Like I wanted to help others with what I learned, but I needed to start learning first to share with integrity, right? So this is what I want to say.
I'm going to be straightforward. Social media is the power of lying. It's the power of lying. I have so many people on there who I know have been selling a fib, and it's more to get, for self-acclamation, to get known, and then to work other people out of their money, to literally work people out of their money. So many people are creating certifications that is not actual, it's not factual, but they're using social media to create a person that they are not. So you have to understand that social media is for entertainment. That's what it's for. It's for entertainment. You have to understand who you are. You have to be who you are, and don't allow for what you see to try to change you into someone else, because they're not real. There's so many filters on there. I mean, so many filters. Even
the way to the
it's so many filters. So the people that you're seeing are not actual people. Just like catfishing. You meet them and then there's somebody totally different, you know?
Artificial.
And that's another thing that's gonna change things. So what I would tell you is you're awesome by yourself.
Yeah.
You're already amazing. You're already amazing. You're already powerful. You're already courageous.
So you need to recognize that for
You
yourself.
have to pull it out. That's where your warrior stance come in from. It really is. It's giving you your own stance, your strength to stand, be firm, and be who you are. You don't have to change yourself. None of us, I think we all have gone through a time where we were trying to figure ourselves out, and we were trying to understand who we were or who we were created to be. But you get to a certain point and you're like, oh, I'm tired of being everybody else. I just need to be myself. And the people who are supposed to be around you, or the people who are supposed to be in your network, will find you. There was a young lady yesterday. She wants to be a broadcaster. She's in college, and she came. She got a book signed, and she was speaking about all of the negative people who she deals with in college. And we know kids can be so cruel, you know. She was bullying, and so she said she didn't feel like she can be herself because, you know, she wants to be a broadcaster, but she's loud. And she mentioned, you know, while she was talking, you can see it. But I said, but that's your gift. That's who you are. And the people who's around you, if they don't accept that for who you are, then they don't need to be around you. They're not your people. You will find your people, and more importantly, your people will find you. Don't go out searching for anybody. Your people will find you. So just continue to be great. Don't worry about social media. Everybody on there is faking, except me, except for this lady and this lady right here. Okay, we're all honest people. Okay, but everybody else, they have filters. They're looking beautiful. They got big noses, but they really have small noses, and vice versa. Okay, so so don't pay attention to social media. We need you. This world needs you. We don't need another Kate. We don't need another Beyonce. We don't need another Jay-Z. We don't need those people. We already have them. Let them be great in who they are, but we need you to be great in who you are, because somebody needs you. And if you're not who you're supposed to be, then you just get passed right by. You get passed right by. So somebody is looking for you. Be who you are, and you're going to be awesome.
And you stop others from being who you are, who they are. Like, we need to encourage each other to not compete.
Don't compete, absolutely.
And team up. And if it's possible to finish up on that, can we say together, victory to us?
Victory.
And victory is ours. Claim it.
Claim it.
Thank you so much. Now, I know a lot of the children right now, and I've seen a lot of comments of affirmation coming from the viewers. They're very happy that finally, besides themselves, they said, we don't need other people to people's affirmation to tell you whether you're good or bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need to
And being just who you are is a greatness.
Kind to yourself.
Yes.
You know, oftentimes we know how to be kind to everybody else, but man, we really need to be kind to ourselves. We really got to start there. And when we're kind to ourselves, we can share that cup of love. But when we are mean to ourselves and in judgment of ourselves, that's what we're spreading. So we got to be really careful what we're magnetizing.
And there is the issue of mirror neurons. Okay, we mirror back the energy. So we have to be careful. Energy is contagious. So we need to share the good one. That's what I feel.
And another thing, as far as affirmations, it is important for you to have affirmations, because that's what's going to keep you growing and moving forward, and also being accountable to yourself. And I do have a section in each chapter that has affirmations. So I'm holding you accountable. You're going to answer some questions. It's a workbook. So you're not going to just read. You're going to answer questions. You're going to really think it through, and you're going to have the opportunity to apply it to your life. So with the affirmations, after you've read each chapter, you can sit back and say, what do I need to give me more wisdom, or to allow for me to use the wisdom correctly? Because we all have information and knowledge, but you have to know how to use it, and that's when wisdom come in, as well as setting goals. How do I set goals, or what goals do I need to set? And there's a section in here that's going to tell you, or you're going to hold yourself accountable, and you're going to set goals. So there's affirmations for everything, and we need for you to do that to hold yourself accountable. So
Thank you, Carmen.
yeah.
Carmen leads
Yeah.
the way as the areas that you are. So in my book too, I have a process for setting goals called the screening room. I take you down some stairs, you go through a hallway, and there is a door, imaginary,
Yeah.
called Carmen Private Screening Room. So when you walk in,
I'm all in her book.
you sit on that chair, and facing that chair is a giant screen, 3D. And when you sit there, you become producer, director, and star of your show.
That's good.
Victory,
Yeah.
warrior stance,
Yes.
the total grandmother,
Yes.
and then you start imagining in that safe place,
Yeah.
and then you create a password for yourself, and then during the day you activate your password that will remind you of all the message you saw on that screen.
Yeah.
And that is a miracle, because effortlessly
Yeah.
you become that person you saw,
Yeah.
because the mind doesn't know the difference between real or imagined.
Exactly.
So keep focusing on what you want
Yeah.
and not on what you don't want.
Exactly.
That is very important.
Yeah.
You guys are amazing. And I know a
Thank
lot of
you.
children are watching this right now. Hopefully their parents are watching them.
I hope so
right
too.
now,
Yes.
so that they can educate further their children. So who would have thought that we're almost an hour?
Really?
Wow.
It
So
went
I'd
by
like to
so
invite
fast. It
everybody
did.
to visit your whereabouts website,
Okay.
where we can look and find your book, so that
Yes.
everybody would have a chance to get a copy of it.
Yes, yes. Okay, my book is available on Amazon. You can go on Amazon and purchase it. However, if you go to my website, which is www.invincibleyoucoaching.com, you can purchase a book for me, and I'll go ahead and autograph it and send it out to you. My Instagram and my Facebook accounts, and I'm a real person, so my Instagram and Facebook are both I am Carmen Davenport. So you should be able to find me easily. I am Carmen Davenport.
My book is The Great Global Pause, and it is a children's book, but it's really for all ages, and it reaches the adults, and it brings us back together with what's most important in life. And you can follow me at Turtle Talk Wisdom on Facebook. I have a Turtle Talk Wisdom Instagram, Maggie at Turtle Talk Wisdom, and you can go to Amazon and find the book there, and you can also go to my website and I will autograph it for you and send it to you at turtletalkwisdom.ca.
And my book is Victim to Victorious, can be found on Amazon and also on my website, which is newlifedirections.com. I'm also on social media as a real woman.
Exactly.
And it's Edwige Gilbert, and also Victory with Edwige. And you can also get my newsletter that I strongly recommend you follow and subscribe to twice a month. Right now, my latest one is How Not to Get Fat During the Holiday Season.
Thank you so much, ladies.
I should have gotten that ahead of time. Yeah.
It's been an amazing time with you. Just like yourselves, and also the support. It's hard to change the world, right?
Yes,
But we can
it is.
change someone's life.
Yeah.
It's important to
One at a time.
Yes, one at a time.
For the success of everybody.
Thank you so much.
Great talk with the studio.
Thank
For the
you.
success of your work.
Thank
So much
you.
once again, ladies and gentlemen, we have Carmen Davenport,
Yes.
Maggie Rady, and Edwidge Gilbert. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Be blessed.
Great.
Thank you.
I
Thank
like
you.
the quote you want mine.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Y como dijo Vargas, no te rajes, Jalisco.